treat a friend. Bright before me, the signs implore me, help the needy and show them the way. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today. Lonely, so lonely. Thinking at my feet, I think I'll kick it down the street. That's the way to treat a friend. Right before me, the signs implore me, help the needy and show them the way. Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today.
Well, today is Tuesday, September 18th. We are live in New York City. That video I made yesterday after coming into the office for the first day, I, like many New Yorkers, was terrified to come back into the city and to work. And then I saw our mayor, Rudy Giuliani, speaking. Now, in the past, as a very ardent left-wing liberal, I have said many things about Mayor Giuliani that have been unkind and sort of harsh. However, I will say that the man has brought me and the city a tremendous amount of solace at a time when it's hard to find. So my hat is off to him for encouraging and inspiring not just me, but my entire staff and the audience and people of New York to go back to their life, because otherwise the bad guys win. And the bad guys don't get to win. So I want to thank him. I want to thank all the people in New York, the firefighters and the police officers, to the victims' families. I, like everyone else, have no words. There's a line from Les Miserables where they say there's a grief that can't be spoken, and the pain goes on. And that's what it feels like to all of us. It's very eerie to be here in New York. A lot of staff members had some close calls, but everyone, thank God, is safe. John and his family live down there.
Yes, I do.
It was very
A little scary.
frightening.
Very scary, yeah.
Yes, but you're all
We're
right?
Totally fine. Thank
Everyone's
you.
fine.
Thank
and for me, of course, like every other parent, I ran to get my children. And then I had the hard time of explaining to them what was happening.
I'm sure.
My son is now 6, and he asked why we were at war. And I said, well, there's a man who doesn't like us, and his name is Bin Laden, and he lives far away, and he wanted to hurt us. And my son said, well, doesn't he know that when you're in a war, you're only allowed to shoot other people with uniforms on? You're not allowed to shoot people going to work.
Wow.
I said, yes. And he said, well, why does he hate us? And I said, you know, Parker, I think he has a lot of hate in his heart. And Parker said to me, that's so sad, Mommy. And I'm holding him, and I'm thinking that is sad, and I'm thinking of what I wanted to do in my rage and my revenge mode and my total incapacitating grief of annihilating nations and whoever happens to be in the surrounding area. And my 6-year-old son looked at me and said, Mommy, we got to get that guy some love.
There you go. It's amazing.
What we can learn from our children, I gotta tell you. I asked some friends of mine to come on the show today to help. It's a very hard thing to do an entertainment show that's light and happy in the light of the recent world events. However, my friends Mario Cantone, Valerie Harper, and Christy Neversole have agreed to do just that. I've asked them to do it to help me. And I'd like to thank all of you for being here, for helping us get through it. In the last 6 years, I've spoke many times about my friends and my family. And people react differently in times of crisis. What I do is I make movies. I know it sounds absurd, but that's what I did last night.
Right.
It gives me something to zone on and to focus on. And on September 12th, which was my sister's birthday, when I, like the rest of the world, was in beyond shock, I did the one thing that I knew would bring me solace and raise me back up to the surface. I made a movie of my children, and today, I'd like to show it to you.
Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling, I don't care, I got ways. No one's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time nothing can harm you, not while I'm around. Not to worry, I may not be smart, but I ain't dumb. I can do it, put me to it, show me something I can overcome. Not to worry, Mom. Being close and being clever ain't like being true. I don't need to, I won't never hide a thing from you. Like some. No one's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time nothing can harm you, not while I'm
Here we go. I love our first guest for a number of reasons. She's always enjoyable. She starred in two of my favorite shows of all time. She also happens to be a really good friend of mine, and she's now back on Broadway. Please welcome the one and only Valerie Harper. Hi, Valerie.
You cutie.
How are you? Good to see see you.
I'm good.
How
I'm fine.
good?
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing what Rudy said.
Yes.
Our show opened on, again, Thursday. The folks were there. They were laughing. They were willing to not be ruled by fear.
Good.
And it's great.
It is. And the Broadway houses have been suffering a little bit, needless to say, in the last week, and we definitely need people showing up
Well,
there.
that's, I heard the mayor saying, if you want to help New York, come to the city, go to the restaurants, go to the play, maybe you'll get tickets for the producers.
Exactly.
I mean, and I personally went out yesterday and bought 2 pair of earrings. These are one of them.
Did you?
Yes.
Yes.
And I bought a sandwich when I had food at home.
Right.
So I'm trying to,
Yeah,
in my
trying to
own
help
little
the
way,
economy.
I'm pumping it back in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good for you, Valerie.
What else did I do?
You know what? I bought a motorcycle.
Oh!
I did.
I think she did better than me.
No, I'm just on like a credit card because like I'm one of those people. I don't like to shop. I don't like clothes. There are very few things. I have every computer thing. I thought.
Yeah.
Motorcycle. And then, I
Did
didn't know.
you
Yeah,
yesterday?
I did. No, actually, the day Friday.
Good
I did.
girl.
But
Good.
you know what?
That's it. Because the reality is life is going on and we do. My mother used to say a great thing. She said, Val, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you handle it.
Exactly.
And what's happened really, it's like, when a family has a tragedy, we always look at, oh, that's so bad. We've had a family tragedy that has hit not only our country, but the world. So we're just going to... Our hearts are broken, but our hearts are strong.
Right.
That's the key.
And it really did, in many, many ways, put everything in perspective.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And there's a real opportunity for a global change from here on out.
You know, there's a lot of divisiveness in our nation, and I think this, everyone, with the possible exception of Jerry Falwell, has united together as one human race, and these human citizens and, patriots of this nation, and we're all together. And,
That's it.
If there is anything to come out of that, that's good.
The greatest legacy and the greatest honoring that we can do for the folks who have suffered so deeply is to make, my mom used to say, a silk purse out of a sow's ear. We've got to come up out of it, and we will.
And we will.
And thank you so much
thank
for
you
having me on today.
Here. First of all,
and we can talk about fun
If you want to laugh,
things.
and it's a good time to laugh, there is no funnier show that I've ever seen in my life than The Tale of the Allergist's
Isn't it
Wife.
funny? Hilarious.
It's so funny.
I know. We die. It's so much fun. I've been in, it's been 2 months now for me.
Right.
Coming up on the 31st, it'll be 2 months
now,
back
did you
on
see
Broadway.
it when Linda did it?
Yes, I did. I saw it back in February.
Linda Lavin originated the role.
That's right. But Michelle Lee is still in it.
Great.
Gorgeous. Yes. And Tony Roberts. And Anil Komar is playing Mohammed the doorman.
Right.
And then my mother, played by Cheryl Bernheim, who's 80 years old.
She's the original one.
Yes.
Right?
And also there's Rose Eric, who plays it on Tuesday nights. Yeah. She because Cheryl's 80. Yeah. She's over 80, and I have to yell at this beautiful little 5-foot person. But I've had experience with Ida all those years.
Exactly.
And my own mother, Iva McConnell Harper, was about 5'1", not Jewish, but just as just as tyrannical. Yes.
Now, your real mother.
Well, moms, that's their job.
Your real
to
mother's
drive
name
daughters
is
crazy.
Iva?
IVA.
And then on the show, it's Ida?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's such a great one.
Yeah, it is.
That's one of the stumpers I give to people when they don't. I go, what was Rhoda's parents' name?
Oh, Martin. Did they come up with Ida ever?
They get Ida. They don't ever get Martin.
Martin.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
See, I know everything.
You do.
But this is a hysterical show. It really is.
I'm having a great time. It's a wonderful show. And, I came into it, and they were so embracing, because that's a big hit. They were having full houses, and when I came into it, I was very happy. They had the biggest week they ever had, financially, which was great. Yeah. But they had put in a lot of publicity, and I thought, this train has not only left the station, it's going 1,000 miles an hour, and I really had to be ready and jump on but Michelle and Tony and the rest of the cast have been so incredible.
It's exhausting, is it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's getting less and less exhausting. You know how it is to go in and then get your sea legs, and it's not white knuckle, what are the lines? You start living the part, and it starts to really work. But we also have this brunch every Sunday that they do down in the basement. These people love food.
Yeah.
They're my kind of folks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, bagels and everything. And I had never experienced that in a Broadway show. But we get there early on Sunday and have this
have a little
break in a
nosh.
break. Exactly.
Yeah.
A big nosh.
A big nosh.
But it's fun. It's great.
It is the greatest. When you do come to New York City to go to see a show, go to Restaurant Row on 42nd Street after the theater, because you'll see all the actors who
That's
have
right.
just performed
Running to eat.
wolfing down, Cajun chicken sandwich at Joe Allen's.
That's right.
Because it's too nerve-wracking to eat before.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's when I gained my weight, when I did Broadway. I was a stick before that show.
Really? Now, I've gone the other way, maybe because I'm jumping around.
You lost?
Yeah, I've lost about 14 pounds.
You don't go and have, like, fries, a cheeseburger deluxe, and a beer?
No.
Oh, well.
No.
Here it is. I thought it was Broadway. Maybe it's the food. We're going to take a break and come back with Valerie. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Garbage. This isn't it. I took it down 2 days ago. Oh? This garbage is counterfeit. I mean, I have $35 worth of makeup in here, and if I throw this away, I will lose that natural look. Mary, I was on my way down to talk to you. Really? Yes, I was. It's so stupid, hiding behind fake garbage. But I figured if I chicken out when I was on my way to apologize to you, that I would just, at least I would be in the... don't have to explain. I know.
I love that episode with the fake garbage.
I know. It's a great one.
You got a whole new generation of fans now with Nick at Night.
Oh, I know. The little ones.
Yeah.
It's incredible. My doctor that operated on my knee very successfully. Dr. Bellotti is his name, from Jersey. His daughter, Danielle, in the Glen Rock area. Anyway, where my family lives.
There you go.
Anyway, he was great. He said, and he's got this thick accent. I think he's originally from New York and immigrated to Jersey. And said...
Because God knows the Jersey people don't have accents. Oh, no.
That's right. Maybe he is from Jersey.
He's probably from Jersey.
He said, my daughter, Danielle, I came home and said, hey, Danielle, I have Valerie Harper. I'm going to do her knee. And Danielle got all uppity. She's like 11, 12, and said, Daddy, that's, Rhoda. And he said, yeah. He said, well, how do you know her? He said, well, 30 years ago. And she got so mad. He said, she looked at me furious like you were huz. I was huz.
Exactly.
He said exactly that.
I have a niece who watches only Nick at Night. And when she was 6, she's now 8. When she was 6, she wanted me to invite Marsha Brady to her birthday party. I said, honey, she's older than Mommy. She's older than me. I can't, So this time, she's watching it, and she says, Aunt Rose. She's like a little me. Looks like me, a little round little me. 8, little tyrant. Hey, Aunt Ro, you ever see this show? That Rhoda is you. She said it ain't.
Oh, my God.
How about
that's
that? They pick it
adorable.
up,
I love that. I should be so lucky.
Oh,
You're the genuine article.
I told you the story, what the acting teacher said to me.
Oh, yes.
Did I ever tell that on this show?
I think so,
did,
but tell it again.
When I was a young, a 17-year-old theater student in college, and I did my monologue, and this teacher stood up and said, Miss O'Donnell, the part of Rhoda Morgenstern has already been cast.
So mean.
So mean.
I hope they're watching today.
Yeah, I have tried to let it go. I've tried to just let it go and wish peace and love to him, Jim Spruill, peace and love. Because I have to get over it. It's okay. It was a long time ago. But in a way, it did inspire me, to tell you the truth.
I bet
Because
you.
I remember thinking, he's going to feel like an idiot.
One day when I'm a big
friends
star.
with Rhoda. And here I am, friends with Rhoda.
I love it. And Valerie, too.
Exactly. Do you remember your audition for Mary?
Oh, yeah, really clearly, because I memorized it, and you never do that for an audition, Rosie, as you well know. When you go for a play, you would never memorize it, because you got to learn the inner life of the character. But I thought, ooh, TV, I'll show them I'm a fast study, which I was not. But I learned the opening scene, and that was when Mary and Rhoda meet. Rhoda's outside in the cold, doing the windows. So I wore what we called then a car coat. Yeah. I don't know if you remember. It was like a 3/4, and I put a rag in the pocket, so that when I started the scene, I took it out and started, washing an imaginary window. Right. And I did the whole scene as in the office, and they were very thrilled, and they all said, she brought props. This girl brought props.
And that's how you got the gig.
I guess so. Well, I guess then I had to come back and
Yeah.
meet with Mary, and they saw us together and thought that there was chemistry.
And there still is. There still is. It's the best show. It's best sitcom, I think, ever on TV.
I think
Mary
it's,
Tyler
yeah,
Moore
I
show.
think it's
I really
wonderful.
do.
Yeah,
And a large
beautiful.
part because of you.
Oh,
Rhododendron. Come on.
sweetie. No.
Thank you
The
for
writing.
being here.
Oh, I'm so
Thank you
happy
so much.
to be here.
I'm going to come see you at the Ethel Barrymore Theater, The Tale of the Allergist Wives. Come to New York, see a show, would you? We'll be right back with Mario Cantone after this. We've seen our next guest on Broadway in Love, Valor, and Compassion and The Tempest, and if you've missed his recurring role on Sex and the City, take a look.
Charlotte decided for Stanford Blatch it would have to be someone cute, someone with style, someone like Anthony Marantino, her wedding gown stylist.
What?
Anthony, hi, it's Charlotte York McDougal.
Sorry, thought it was my mother. 15 phone calls to make sure I get her the cheapest possible sheet from Bed Bath and friggin' Beyond.
I was wondering if you were dating anyone right now.
I'm dating everyone right now. Why?
I have this friend, Stanford.
What's he look like?
He is adorable.
Who would play him? In a movie, who would play him?
I don't know. Ed Harris. A younger Ed Harris.
That's hot.
Please welcome the very funny Mario Cantone. Hi, Joe.
Hello!
I thank you because I know you're not a morning person.
No, thanks for getting me out of bed.
Yeah, because you're really not.
I'm not a morning person.
No.
I have been, I stay in bed and watch the VH1.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All share, all day.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's you?
Oh, that's me. Well, her comeback song, though, was a little distorted, don't you think?
Which one?
That one. Do you believe in love? Do you believe in What is she saying? Oh, my God. And they were showing the Cher show, the old Cher show, when it was just Cher without Sonny.
Yeah.
And they had Cher and Tina doing a duet.
Right.
That was the hottest thing.
No
Because,
kidding.
well, Cher couldn't keep up. I'm sorry. Tina was like, let the good job in the city. Working for the man every night and day.
Good. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yes. And how has it been performing at 42nd Street? It must have been very difficult.
We now rejoin
Well,
our
I
regularly
went back on
scheduled
Thursday night,
program
2 days after
in
the
progress.
attack, and it was nerve-wracking. I was afraid. 2 days before, of course, when it happened, I think a lot of people, ran to the grocery store, because it felt like the apocalypse. And I went to get groceries, for the family, and I immediately went to the ice cream section for comfort. And there was nothing there, absolutely nothing there, except for one little lonely pint of, it didn't matter what it was at this point. I would have taken it anyway. And so I looked around and I thought, this is mine. I grabbed it and I took it home. Well, I took a bite of it later on that night, and it was the kind that had melted and had come back, and it was that crunchy kind of, the ice kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I put it back in the refrigerator. But then on Thursday, when I found out that I had to go back to work, I thought, I'm not going to turn on the TV today because it's too upsetting, and I can't see that over and over and over and over and over again. So I thought, I'm going to pretend it's World War II and, just turn on the radio. So I sat by the radio, and then I found myself wandering over to that freezer, and I took out that lonely little carton of ice cream, and I sat by the radio listening to it, and I just kept searching for that creamy spot, and it just never came.
It never
and I finished the entire thing. I said, oh, my God, I have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, you ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
but I did get into the theater. I found out later that the building was evacuated twice that day, and there were apparently a lot of bomb threats. But when we got there, it was so meaningful. It was so. I was so afraid, but I thought I need to express courage, and I need to be strong, not only for my fellow cast members, but for myself too, just to show that we're not going to be bullied, And when I got there, I really, you could feel the energy was just like you were in a war zone. It was just so bizarre. When I got to the theater, I was so glad to see all my fellow castmates. And when we performed that night, the producers have been so generous and have been giving vouchers and tickets to firemen's families and policemen's families, rescue workers, hospitals, stranded tourists. And so we had a lot of firemen's families that were there that night. And it really gave new meaning to the show. And I felt like I was like in the USO, you know, like entertaining the troops. Because in a sense, I think we're all soldiers, really, you know. And I think that because of this thing that has happened, I think that we really have to brandish our weapon, our weapon of spirit. And that is the weapon that we have to brandish. And that can never, ever, ever be destroyed. Never. That's impossible. That's not the nature of spirit. And I think that we need to all anoint ourselves with courage because, and I would like to thank you all for being here today because you're an example of what we need as New Yorkers to show the world that we're not afraid. And you've come out here today, and I appreciate that.
Now, Chrissy, I don't want to cause a controversy here or anything, you know, but I recently saw you on Oprah, and that's not.
It was after your show.
So that's not the controversy.
Okay, all right.
You're free to do Oprah. Show all my friends I do Oprah.
Okay.
Show. The problem is I'm watching it, and they said here filming at Christine and Bill's backyard, and I'm going. I've been to their house. That is a faux backyard. Whose backyard were you in?
It was the Friedman's backyard.
It was the neighbor's backyard.
It was the neighbor's backyard. Here's the story, Rosie. Here's the story. Oprah wants beauty. Oprah wants beauty. She wants to be surrounded by beauty. You weren't going to find it in my front yard.
No.
You weren't going to find it.
No.
My yard was a mess, I got to tell you. You know, it was just an absolute weed garden. I tried to get... I've solicited so many gardeners to try to come and help. They come over to the house and say, what can you do? What can you do? Well, for $150, I can, you know, get the weeds out. I said, please come back. They never showed up again. They never showed up. I think the task was too great.
Yeah.
All you needed was a car with the cinder blocks underneath. That would be the perfect.
So they saw it and said, we have to go pretend your neighbor's backyard?
So we used the neighbor's backyard. Oh, Isabel was furious.
She was?
Yeah, because, you know, no one was home. We knocked on the door. They weren't there. We just used it anyway. The kids are swinging on the swing set, you know. Yeah, mommy's backyard. My brother calls me up. He goes, hey, Chris, you got an estate now, huh? You know? I
was watching with Parker. He's like, that's not their house. I'm like, you're right. That's not their house. Will you do me a favor, Christine, and sing for me?
I would love to.
Tony Award winner Christine Ebersole singing right after this break. Don't go away.
Rosie's back live with...
Oh, no, it's Martha Stewart, you know. She can make a chandelier from a paperclip.
Plus Liza Minnelli tomorrow.
Here to perform the lullaby of Broadway from the show 42nd Street. Please welcome Tony Award winner Christine Ebersole.
Come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway, the hip hooray and ballyhoo, the lullaby of Broadway, the rumble of a subway train, the rattle of the taxis, the daffodils who entertain at Angelo's and Maxie's, when a Broadway baby says goodnight. It's early in the morning. Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn. Good Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Listen to the lullaby of old Broadway.
We'll be right back. Like everyone else in the nation in small towns all over the country, I didn't know what I could do this weekend. So I took my motorcycle, took my video camera, and drove around my town to show you the amazing amount of patriotism and support that small towns all over the country have for New York and for the nation as a whole. So take a look at this, and thank you all very much.
I was 8 years old and running with a dime in my hand to the bus stop to pick up a paper from my old man. Sit on his lap, that big old Buick steer as we drove through town. Tassel my hair, say son, take a good look around. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. In '65, tension was running high at my school. There was a lot of fights between the black and white. There was nothing you could do. Two cars that alight on a Saturday night. In the backseat there was a gun. Words are passed, shotgun blast. Troubled times let come in my hometown. In my hometown. In my hometown. In my hometown. Our main streets, whitewashed windows and vacant stores. Seems like there ain't nobody wants to come down here no more. They're closing down the textile mill across the railroad tracks. Foreman says these jobs are going, boys, and they ain't coming back to your hometown. To your hometown. To your hometown. To your hometown. Last night me and Kay, we laid in bed talking about getting out, packing up our bags, maybe heading south. The 35, we got a boy of our own now. Last night I sat him up behind the wheel, said, son, take a good look around.
Guests fly our official carrier, American Airlines, the only airline offering more room throughout coach for more coach passengers. Enjoy more room only on American. Guests of the Rosie O'Donnell Show stay at La Parka Meridian, featuring breathtaking views of Central Park and the New York skyline. La Parka Meridian, uptown, not uptight.